G'day, Wade from Gobbles Lures. This is one of our 3-inch curl tails, and I've just put it, or I'm going to put it on a 1/8 jig head with a 3/0 hook. I'm fishing for flathead, so they've got big mouths. I want a big hook. The reason is that that gape there then gets hold of the fish and holds on really nicely. If I had a smaller hook, then I've got less room for it to actually hook up. Anyway, so what we do is, the way I rig them is that I like to have the tail down. The reason is that I would like the hook to be coming out the top like so that on the cast the tail doesn't get hooked on the point of the hook. You can do it the other way, it'll still work, won't make any difference, except personally I think it's a lot better to make sure that that doesn't get hooked in the air and then doesn't swim, which means you lose the opportunity of a fish. So that's how I rig them. I just keep them in my fingers like that. There's a bit of a seam down here which is very difficult to pick up in the camera and with the sparkles, and I hold my jig head in the 2 fingers and I put it right in the center of the plastic, and then I just feed it down and slowly feed the plastic onto the hook, and then out it comes. Push it up over the keeper, and there it is, so that it's running straight down the middle of the back of the lure. And how we use that is simple. There's a couple of different ways and what we can do. I'll just move that one out of the way. So I normally fish into the tide, so the tide coming towards me. And the reason I do that, it means it keeps my jig head down closer and the tide's not lifting it up. I cast out and I just let the braid and the lure do the work as it floats down. As it's floating down, the tail is working, and then just do a couple of hops while I'm retrieving it, so that I'm covering about 1/2 metre to 1 metre across the bottom, and then up again. And I'm trying to keep it within 1/2 metre of the bottom, 1 metre, you know, up to 1 metre, and I just allow that to sink and hit the bottom, because the flathead are quite curious, and if they see a bit of sand come up, they want to know what it is, and they'll come over and have a look. And as it's floating back down, quite often that's when you'll get the hit. Now the hit can just be a boom that you feel, and what they call a tick, and then you hook the fish. So that's one way of retrieving it, which is called what we call the hopping it. Now I'll do the same thing. I'll let it go all the way to the bottom there. So as soon as that becomes loose, then I go, okay, I know it's on the bottom, and I'll just lift it slightly, and then I can just slowly roll it, and that just has the tail working like a bait fish. Oh, I had a little touch then. I just felt that nibble. That would probably be a very, very small bream. And I'm just doing it slow, and the reason I'm doing it slow is that if you do it too fast, you're going to come out of the strike zone, which means it'll lift up too high, and the flathead won't bother to ambush it if it's too far off the bottom. So they're the 2 ways to do the curl tail.